This is TWiT.
So Microsoft, I actually 70 billion is probably right. I meant to look that up before.
They made a lot of money.
They made a lot of money.
28 last quarter, but yeah.
28. Oof. Okay. Well, whatever it was a lot. And obviously, this is something I wanted to throw by you guys because this is one thing I actually kind of struggle with. So Microsoft is going gangbusters. It is at any given time the biggest or second biggest company in the world by market value.
Back and forth with Apple, right?
Yep. It is arguably more successful than it's ever been. Plus or minus just the past couple of months, right? I mean, but the Microsoft of today.
You are right. It is 70.
70. Okay, I just pulled that one.
You made it up, but your memory was strong.
Last week.
Yeah. Okay. So, how does a company that makes so much money and is going to? It's not like we're coming out of the pandemic and things are going south. And okay, we overhired and we made these mistakes. How does one justify this? Right.
Mm-hmm.
There have been rumors that Microsoft is looking to remove layers of middle management. Mm-hmm. They have said overtly, we're trying to get to the point where everyone is kind of high performing, right? Seeing this story made me go back and look at their earnings transcript because this was the first time in many years I've actually listened to that post-earnings conference call live. And something that Amy Hood said stuck with me, and I tried to find it and finally did. And she did sort of opaquely reference this. She said, we continue to focus on building higher performing teams, increasing our agility by reducing layers with fewer managers, which is like a little preview. I mean, well, they've been doing this a little bit over time, but so now they lay off what amounts to about 3,000 people, right? Or is that right? Or 6,000 people. Sorry, 3%.
Yeah.
6,000 employees. This is globally across all teams, all organizations within the company. And then their headcount has risen. Well, last time they talked about it by about 2% since last year. So overall, they'll end this fiscal year down about 1% from an employee count.
Including the wave they did in January as well, which were not layoffs. That was performance.
What was it? What do you call that? What's the term?
Performance removals. There's you've not performed well over the past year, so you're done. Which they hadn't done in a long time. Like I would argue that was the first time they've done performance removals since the pandemic.
Yeah. Now, I don't know what Satya Nadella looks like to people, or how his leadership style appears or whatever it is. But I think the one thing that people don't understand well enough about this guy is how aggressive he is about employees and teams and product lines to kind of justifying their existence. He's, and if you don't understand it, think about he killed Windows Phone, right? This was one of those things where it's still controversial. There's still people cannot believe this happened. And
the line he used was, we're not going to chase markets anymore.
Right. And so to me, this is on point for him, actually. But then again, like Richard said, it's not something they've really done a lot of. And there were those periods of time where they were doing layoffs like everyone else in the gaming industry, part of the company. But as far as like looking at the company kind of globally and being like, all right, we're going to skim some off the top here. So I guess off the bottom actually. Right. So what do you guys say to that? Like Microsoft just made $70 billion.
Yeah. And these were broad reaching layoffs. So this was nothing to do with your performance. This was literally cuts across all teams.
Yep.
I got calls from people laid off yesterday. I also got calls from managers who had to lay good people off yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are pretty upset.
This is the first time in a while I haven't heard about from anyone directly, but that might be because most of the guys I know have now been laid off.
Yeah.
But it's a weird situation because.
And it's the week before Build.
I know.
And I know at least one that was laid off that had sessions at Build.
Yes, right. Because some of this came out of .NET and Maui. I think Miguel de Casa had tweeted or whatever he does now, something about this. And I don't know what to say. This is one of those ones where I just don't know what to say. Is it AI infrastructure costs are finally starting to catch up with them and they got to save money somewhere else? Or
didn't show up in the quarterlies.
No, I know, but maybe they're looking ahead and they want to head it off, No, I don't know.
This is not enough money.
There's not enough money. I feel like there is enough money.
Don't even,
like this.
No, the layoffs don't represent enough money. They did $10 billion in stock buybacks. This is not $10 billion worth of wages.
Right.
Right. This is 6,000 people and you're paying them $100,000. Right. Like,
yeah.
It ain't that much money.
Right. So
Not in that scale.
Is it literally, then that suggests that what they're saying is correct, which is it's really about agility and efficiency and whatever. I mean, hopefully it's not.
So you're getting agility by scaring your workforce on a routine basis with random layoffs?
I find that loud noises help sometimes, you know, and this
is about $1 billion worth of annual salary. Plus you've got to do, they gave them, I think 60 days or 90 days. Like,
yep.
It's not cheap to let that many people go. You did $10 billion in stock buybacks.
Right.
Last quarter.
Yep. Yeah. So there's a just to bring up cynical again, there's a super cynical version of this story where because of the way Wall Street is terrible, that the net result from this, from a financial markets perspective, will be overwhelmingly positive. This company's doing all the right things, they're saving money, they're blah, blah, blah. Their stock price will go up. And that whatever bump they get from the stock price will, in fact, pay for the changes that we just described. Like, that's terrible.
Well,
right?
At this moment, they're up 0.5%.
There you go. So
on a $3 trillion capitalization. So, okay.
Yep. Meanwhile, Jeff Bezos, not at Microsoft, I know, has bought his fourth or fifth private jet. This thing flies at the speed of light or whatever the hell it is. And like, what is happening? I don't know. I don't know what to say to people anymore. Yeah. I don't know. I really don't have an answer.
Do you desperately need a stock bump just before build? Is that even necessary? You would think you're going to get a bump out of build anyway for all the cool announcements you're about to make.
Yeah. I mean, they better, right? I mean, this is unless they have a special event, I mean, this is one of two big milestones in a year for them where they're going to make AI-related events. AI-related announcements, rather. I don't know.
This is the big one.
I really struggle with this.
I'm with you. It is not like there isn't, underperformance within an organization that large, but that's not what just happened.
Right.
What they did in January arguably was that.
Was that. Okay.
That's not what happened this time.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I always try to find the logic in things. Yeah. And this is one where
it makes me unhappy to think that the fear thing makes sense. That makes me unhappy.
It should. Yeah. It's not good.
And it really has been since the pandemic. I think it was just before the pandemic they were starting to make noises in this direction. But that was also a time when you also get a sense that the employees were, starting to get organized against doing work in the military. And there used to be walkouts. And then the pandemic hit and everybody's going to love everybody. And we all huddled down to make it go. And then there was that rush on hiring more people because we thought the growth was going to be infinite. And then, we overpaid and we overhired.
The thing is, though, when the pandemic hit, the big thing that they were pushing at the time was Teams, right?
Yep.
This was all they talked about for that entire year. This was when Teams was the only thing that the Microsoft 365 org talked about. They stopped announcing they had other new features, but they, remember, they were just getting rid of products and whatever. They were just doing Teams. But AI, I think AI, Richard often uses the term Dark Satya. I think the purest expression of Dark Satya is him going to employees and saying, you need to be on board with this. And if you're not, leave.
Yeah, find somewhere else to work.
This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And yikes.
And that's the other part. The AI people weren't protected in this either. I know folks who are working on AI related technologies that were also cut. So this was a broad, random 3%.
At least they're not doing stack ranking anymore, but this kind of sounds like it was related to it. Like we took the bottom, 10% of performers and we just said goodbye.
That was in January. That's exactly what happened in January. This was not that.
This was not that.
No. January was you've underperformed for over a year. And so.
Oh, okay. But this was performance focused, wasn't it? Or no?
Not. No. January.
Oh.
Well, Yeah, it's more. It seems to have the feel of we're just trying to remove fat from the middle.
Yeah.
You know?
And so they may have been selective on the teams they cut, but I haven't been able to figure that out.
Right.
But because near as I can tell, every team got touched, and it wasn't a given role. It wasn't a given title. I know PMs. I knew engineers. Like it was all over the place. So I don't know the answer to that.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, it's hard for the people involved.
No, it's terrible.
Yeah,
and it's not a great time to be looking for a job.
No,
that's for sure.
Hey, it's me, Leo Laporte. I hope you've enjoyed this little snippet from Windows Weekly. If you want to see more and want to catch the whole show, you can subscribe in your favorite podcast client or visit our website, twit.tv/WW. And of course, there's links right below me.